Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 things to let go of so you can actually reach your goals. So if you're ready, let's dive straight in. Welcome back to the Your Rich Life podcast. Now, when we think about setting goals, particularly goals that we keep setting and keep not reaching, it's really easy to go to that conversation that says, what am I missing? What is the thing, or what are the things that I'm not doing or not doing enough of, that if I were doing them and doing enough of them, I would reach those goals? And that's where I think the problem is for a lot of us, is that we're so focused on the thing that we're not doing that we don't see that it's actually the things that we're not doing that are causing the problem, the things we're not letting go of. And so now being fully immersed in my own breakthrough experience, I want to share with you some of the things that I've really learned to let go of that have made the biggest impact in how I show up every day for my goals, how I'm making progress towards my goals, but just more importantly, like the level of the shift in my emotions, my mental health, and my levels of serenity around those goals. Because when you want something so bad, it's really easy to get caught up in the emotions of not being where you want to be yet, right? I know I'm not alone in that one. So I just want to let you know that progress isn't just progress in terms of what you're seeing in terms of achievement, it's how you're feeling about it. Because if, as you know, your feelings are a frequency, and your frequency is creating far more power than the actions that you're doing. So if we can come to a space where we feel so much better about everything and we've got great emotional and mental health, that's a bloody great big win as far as I'm concerned. So let's dive straight in. I've got the 5 things, and as always at the end, I've turned those into 5 questions for you to contemplate, and I'll give you some instructions on those as we come to the end of the episode. So 1 of 5. The first one is the belief that more is better. We tend to think that if we do more, so if you've got a goal around, I don't know, weight loss as an example, that if I can stick to so many, like 1,800 calories, if I can work out 6 days a week, if I can get my 10,000 steps in, if I can drink 2 litres of water, if I can be a vegan and go gluten-free, it'll fall off forever, right? If we're in business, if we're entrepreneurship, we tend to think that the more hours we work, the better. The more courses you've got, the better. Like the harder we work, the better. But more is not always better. Just think about the fact that if you were on a workout program and you thought that working out 9 hours a day was a good idea, absolutely not. It will cause all kinds of harm to your physical and mental body. And if, like me, you're a baker and you're making a meringue, you don't want to be whisking those egg whites too much because it goes grainy and it tastes disgusting. I can understand, though, why we have this innate belief that more is better, particularly when it comes to entrepreneurship. In fact, just this morning, I was listening to a podcast. So every morning I plug myself in while I'm doing journaling and I have some kind of motivation thing going on. And there was this guy who was like screaming down the microphone about how hard you have to work and how much you have to do. And if you wanted to beat him, like he would honor you beating him, but you'd be getting up at 2:30 in the morning and this and that and how much you got and how lazy you are. And I actually in the end had to turn it off. And I chose to think about the 3, 4 or 5 entrepreneurs that I know and, you know, that are making multi-millions that absolutely do not have that attitude. And they don't even whisper that attitude to any of their students. So we get to choose what we think. So now my invitation to you is to let go of the belief and the story that more is better. And like I said, at the end, there'll be questions to help you navigate through this journey. But for now, let's just park that in the effort bucket, right? Let's just, if you feel that belief around you, let's just imagine like we can scrunch it up like a ball of paper and just throw it in the waste paper basket for now. The second thing that I want you to let go of is the weight of other people's opinions. So the fact is, people are always going to have their opinions, and people will want to present you with those opinions whether you ask for them or not. Another fact is that we're getting judged always, even by people that we know, that our families, like we're all doing it. We're all passing judgment. We don't all act on it, but you just watch next time you're in the supermarket or next time you go to a gym or next time you're out somewhere and notice how many unconscious judgments you're having about things and the people around you. It's happening. But when it comes to that preventing you from reaching your goals, so as an entrepreneur, if you're worried about like what people might say on your videos or on your posts, and you're worried about getting called out, or you're worried about not being the expert, if you're worried about what people are going to say about you, like wanting to lose weight or wanting to become a bodybuilder or wanting to get divorced or wanting to change career, like people will have their opinions because they have their models of the world that are not fitting your model of the world, and that's okay. You don't need their permission. What I want to leave you with on this particular one is this. When you think about what you're worried that they're going to say, please know that you're already telling that to yourself about yourself. So if you're worried that someone's going to call you out and say you're not an expert, there is a part of you that doesn't feel like the expert. If you're worried about someone calling you fat or ugly, you're already telling yourself in some way, maybe not now, but maybe in the past, you felt fat or ugly and you haven't quite healed that part of yourself yet. If you're worried about getting divorced and the names that people might call you, like you're worried about that aspect of it for yourself, because your brain can't offer you something that it hasn't had an experience of. So therefore, somewhere along the line, you have learned that could be a possibility of judgment. And so my invitation there is to turn that around and say, like, what is the healing that I need to do for myself? That means that people can still have their opinions and have their judgments, and it's gonna it's just gonna roll off me like melted ice cream. Number 3, this is a really, really important one: committing to being busy and not committing to your goals. I know an awful lot of people who are committed to distraction. And they will also say, oh my God, I don't have any time. I'm so busy. I can't get everything ticked off my list. My list just keeps growing. I've got all these things to do, da, 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 da. But they're almost addicted to distraction. They're committed to the habit of distraction. Another one that we see here is busy doing things that aren't making progress towards your goals. And what I saw for myself was the honoring of different values. And I'm going to try and keep this super simple. This was just something I've learned from the coach I'm working with now. So if you have, like me, family is like a really, really top value, and you're trying to grow your business, or you're on a massive fitness journey, or whatever it is for you, but you're so conditioned to put your family first that you're busy doing things for them, which means that you take time out of your goals. That can also lead to distraction, right? And again, this is just a story. We get to swap our values around, which is something that I didn't know. So I'm really grateful for the coach that I'm working with right now to say, look, I can elevate certain values now to help me commit to the things that I need to do. And then I can swap them around at will. But what I want to let you know is that in every moment you're making that decision. So if you find yourself moaning a lot about not reaching your goals, look for distraction, and also look about what are you actually valuing. Because in the moment, when you get to choose between going to the gym and watching TV, you are making a choice whether to honor your goal or to honor your comfort. In the moment when you are making a decision to pick up the phone and have the sales conversation, or put a post out that says, hey, if you want to work with me, let's get on a sales call, or whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. But you fear that, so instead you go put a load of washing out on the washing line, or you go walk your dog. Like in every moment, you are always choosing where your commitment is. So I want you to think about committing to letting go of committing to being busy, committing to valuing other things in your life that are not getting you where you want to go. This one here, this one thing, I can tell you has made the most monumental difference to my life in the last 2 months. Monumental. Ultimately, or more than anything else, there has been a complete shift in my mental and emotional states around my goals that I've got. I can't explain how it's happened, because that's just the beauty of coaching and transformation, right? It's emotional, physical, spiritual, mental, and when these shifts happen, we're not consciously doing it. These changes just happen. Anyway, I'm waffling on that one because I'm so excited about it. But please let go of committing to be busy. Number 4, ignoring the yin. Everything in this world is ebb and flow. The rise and the fall. Think about the moon cycles. Think about the tides. Think about our breath. We breathe in, we must breathe out. Right? Everything is this ebb and flow. But we find ourselves not doing that. We find ourselves setting a goal and it's go, 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 go. You know, you're suddenly in the SAS or something, and like it's all action, boo, 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 the whole time. But let me ask you, have you ever experienced like really tight contracted muscles? I suffer, I should rephrase that. In the past I have, but no, like right now I do suffer with tight hamstrings, tight glutes, tight back, because of the fact that I've gone all out, all out, all out, all out, and haven't honored the yin, right? Now, if you've ever had contracted muscles, you know it's extremely painful. You know that it's painful and it limits your function, and it can energetically and emotionally drain you when you have tight muscles around your skeleton, right? It causes rigidity. It causes suffering. That's what happens when we don't honor the yin, right? We're so yang, we're doing all the things, we're doing all the masculine stuff, we're in our masculine energy, and we completely ignore the cycle and the ebb and flow of life. I want you to let go of ignoring the yin so that you can create more balance and flow and release resistance, all of those beautiful things. Finally, number 5, the focus on not having enough time or running out of time. I need you to let that go, because in all the time you're harboring those thoughts of running out of time and not having enough time, you've immediately lost your power. Because your focus in that space, when you're in that, I don't have enough time, I'm running out of time, I can tell you now, your mind's focus is in the future and in the past, right? It's never here in the present moment. And you create your reality in this present moment. This is where your full, unadulterated, unfiltered power is. There is no power outside of where you are right now. Even when we think about visualizing our future, when we visualize the future, we do it so we anchor into a powerful state now. And that frequency of now is what helps us to act from the future identity and the future results. Okay, we're not spending loads of time in the future, we're bringing it into the now. Does that make sense? Right? Also notice that when we're focused on not having enough time or running out of time, it's a complete lack mentality. I don't have enough. And how we do one thing is how we do everything. So where else in your life are you telling yourself you don't have enough? Because we cannot possibly make, manifest, align with, experience more in our life if our dominant frequency is lack. So what do I want you to do? I've got these 5 questions for you that I've got down written in front of me here. And I want you to write them down. So I'm going to write them as if you're writing them, you're asking them to yourself. And I just want you to keep recycling these questions. So you can use them as a journaling prompt, morning or night time. You can just put one on your phone as an alarm and just sit with it 2 or 3 times a day. Because as I hope I've spoken to in the last few sessions, is we want to use our mind to retrain our brain. We want to be able to create options and to open new doorways that we can't all the time. We're just functioning under the current programs that we have. So the questions are the most powerful way to change your life. So question number 1, which pertains to the belief that more is better, that you are going to let go of, is this: what if less were best? What if less were best? Just see what comes up for you. Number 2, you're letting go of the weight of other people's opinions. So you're going to write down, what does it look like to trust and believe in myself? What does it look and feel like to trust and believe in myself? Number 3, when you let go of the commitment to be busy, if I were 100% committed to my goals, what would I stop doing? Number 4, it's pertaining to releasing the ignorance of the yin, why is rest and release a powerful tool for my success? Why is rest and release a powerful tool for my success? And finally, letting go of the focus on time or lack of time. How does it feel to focus on here and now? Like, what happens in your body? What happens in your mind? Does your brain start offering you different options? How does it look and feel to focus on the here and now? So please, a lot of you now, if you're resisting this whole thing, it's because there is this belief that you need to do more and that doing less cannot possibly create a different outcome for you. So you must go to that first belief that more is better, and ask yourself, what if less were best? What opens up for you? Thank you for listening to this episode of Your Rich Life podcast. Please do leave me a review on iTunes. Share it with anybody else that you think that might benefit, and I'll speak to you again in the next episode. Bye for now.